Well, let's get started. I'm using a 16th inch aluminum. I got it down at the local Lowe's store. It's not cheap, but it's about the simplest way to do this that I can figure. I've already drawn a line 1/2 inch down. It's easy to do, just measure 1/2 inch and then use the next one right there as a straight edge to draw your line all the way through. So, the first bulb, I want it to be at least 1/2 inch from the end. And you have to think about which direction your piece is going to be attached to the house. In my case, I'll need the bulbs at the bottom. Now the first 7 bulbs you'll see on the soffit on the house. The first 7 bulbs are right at the bottom where it's going over a flat area, so the bulbs can't come through from the back. So for those, I'll have to use the flush mount bulbs. These are a little more expensive, but it's all I can do for where I'm putting them on. So I'll use 7 of those. And then the rest of them are going to be coming through from the back with the 1/2 inch lights. So I'm going to start out with the 3/4 inch mark on here. That's going to be the center of that first bulb, but like I say, it'll be a flat one, so I won't be drilling these. Then every 2.5 inches, I'm going to put a mark. So let's get started. 1, it's 2.5, and just do that right on down. 1, 2.5. So I'll be back as soon as I get the rest of these all marked. Okay, they're all marked. So these first 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they won't be getting drilled. Like I said, those are going to be flat bulbs. So let's start center punching them after those first 7. Be right back as soon as I finish getting them all punched. Okay, they're all center punched. So now we're going to drill some pilot holes. Starting on the 8th one. And I'll be right back as soon as I get all of these drilled. Okay, there's all those pilot holes. Now I'm going to go back and drill them at 15-30 seconds. It says in there that you can use a 1/2 inch drill bit, but I think it's a little bit sloppy, so I'm going to use a 15-30 seconds. Seems to hold the bulb a little bit straighter. Okay, I'm going to run through now and drill these all at 15-30 seconds. Takes a few minutes, so I'll be right back as soon as I get these drilled. Now you get a little bit of a burr on the back of them when you drill them. So I'm just going to run across here with a file real quick. Just take that burr off. So once again, be right back as soon as I get these all done. Alright, my next thing, I'm going to be hanging them under the soffit using these Christmas clips. I've snipped off the end right here so that I can easily get it in, but I need a 1/4 inch hole for these. So I'm going to punch just a few of those in here, just for that purpose. Now my soffit, the underhang doesn't begin until this first hole. So I'm going to punch one in right after that. And now I'll put about 3 more in it. These are going to be just about a 1/4 inch from the top. Just need a few down through here to hang them with. I don't care to put anything on permanent if I can avoid it. Not sure how many more years I'll be doing Christmas lights in the first place. Okay, once again, I'm going to take off the burr on the back. Just make sure I don't get myself cut on it later. I can stand a longer bench. And the last thing, I'm going to take a pair of 10 snips. I'm going to cut this off 1/2 inch past that last hole. And now we can start adding our lights. So I'm going to move the camera here and we'll start in on that. Okay, let's mount the flat lights here, the square ones with flat bottoms. Now, you always have to remember that these lights have to be on in a specific order. So, in my case, it will be ending with the flat lights here with the female connection. So we'll start with that. We'll cut off 7 lights. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll snip them right in between. Now once I get down there, I'll be soldering that onto the other lights. So I'm going to mark these. I have them marked every 2.5 inches here. So I'm going to center it over the lines. And mark it. Each one of them. And 7. I'm going to center punch them. them. It's going to take a second, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm using number 4 screws. To attach these. Okay, before I go any farther, I'm going to solder these together with the next set. So you can see that the red wire here is the 12 volt going into it. So I need the 12 volt wire coming out of it. And it already has a female connector on this end, so I don't have to worry about that one. All I got to do is just add a male connector to the other. I bought 100 of these off of eBay for like 12 bucks. They're not much. Spread the wires down. I'm going to put a large heat shrink here that I'm going to use to cover everything. Strip off these 3 wires. Spread these. Now I'm also going to put small heat shrinks on these wires, each one as I do it, and then I'll cover the entire thing with the large ones. And that should keep out any weather. So I'll just put the small ones over each one. Now your wire colors may not be the same, but we know on the wires here that the white is the data, the red's the power, and in this case it's using a blue for a ground. On this connector, it has a red for the power, then it has a green for the data. It's the one in the middle. And then the outside is white, that will be the ground. So that's the way you have to connect these together. So I'll strip these off. I'll grab my soldering gun and we'll put them together. We'll put a little solder on the wires. Makes it easier to put it together. And on these. Okay. Now on these, the red goes to the red. It's still the power. And like I said, on this one, these pigtails that I bought, they have different colors. So this green goes to the white. It's the data line. And the white goes to the blue here because it's the ground. And that's it. I'm going to slide these little heat shrink tubes up over these connections. Grab my heat gun, shrink them down. And slide the big one over the whole mess. And that should keep out any water and there's that. Like I say, just plugs into the next one now. These come through from the back side. Well, I'm going to have to screw that one down first. But anyway, these just come through the back side and just plug right into the holes. That's all there is to those. So let me screw this down, plug the rest of those in, and then we'll see if we can't attach it to the house. Got a little ahead of myself there too. These connectors, the lights themselves, they also come with an extra power and ground at the end in case you wanted to run it off of a different circuit. So I'm not going to cut these off. I'm simply going to cover them up. So I'm just going to put a couple of heat shrink tubes on them. Just want to stick it on about halfway down. Shrink her down good. Pinch the end. It'll close right up. And that seals those from the elements. Also on my other end, these were lights that I've already cut a few off of. So once again, I have to attach a pigtail on this end. Now the power and data is coming from this end, so it requires a male. So I'm going to solder that on just like I did the other one, and I'll be right back. All right, got the pigtail in there now with the male end, so it's ready to connect to the next section. This one will be going on first, right down at the bottom. Now, because I have such a steep peak, I'm going to have to use some long hooks. These will be able to go in past the section at the bottom where the soffit fits into the facer. So I have to have at least an inch here because there's a ½ inch that it takes to get to the wood. So I'll put one of those in at the very top, put it in this last hole. As soon as I get the camera back around, put it in this last hole, and that way I won't have to worry about it sliding down. The rest of it, I'll simply use these Christmas clips on. They're just going to go right in through the bar here. They're just going in right through the holes, and they'll just clip in underneath my soffit. So that's the plan with these. So I'll put this piece up, and you can see how it goes together.